Hey guys, Philly Boy J here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys an amazing to die for deviled eggs recipe. Here are the seasonings that we're going to be using. You're going to need some salt, some Old Bay seasoning, some black pepper and sugar, and paprika. We're going to be garnishing the deviled eggs with paprika once they are done. The condiments that we're going to be using are Hellman's mayo. Yes, Hellman's, because it's the best. We're going to be using some sweet relish, some yellow mustard, and a unique and special ingredient that take the deviled eggs to another planet, ranch dressing. From this point forth, after you try this recipe, you will always use ranch dressing in your deviled eggs. This recipe is really good with the ranch dressing. What you're going to do is you're going to get a pot. You're going to fill it up with water and you're going to place it over high heat. We're going to add our eggs to the pot, and as you can see here, I'm using a plastic spoon because eggs are fragile and I don't want them to crack. And this recipe requires 6 large size eggs. So we're going to place them in this pot here of water. We're going to let them cook until they are all done. Now, once they are done, to speed up the cooling process, what I like to do is remove the hot water and I add a few ice cubes. And then I fill it up with water. I think that this speeds up the cooling process. Otherwise, you'll be waiting forever for your eggs to become cool enough to crack the shell. Or what you can do is you can place them in a bowl and sit them in the freezer. That'll speed up the cooling process as well. So we're going to let them sit in this cool ice water for about a half an hour. Now, this is the method that I use when cracking the shell of an egg. I like to run it underwater because I think the water makes it nice and slippery and it makes it easier to crack. So the water is going to serve as a lubricant. So we're going to lubricate our eggs with the water and we're going to crack the shell. All right. It just makes everything so much easier when I do it this way. When I don't use the water, it just it'd be disastrous. That's all I have to say. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your eggs and you're going to place them on a paper towel because we want to dry them off. We don't want our eggs to be wet. Okay, so place them on a paper towel and then you're going to pat them dry as I'm doing here with the paper towel. So now we're going to move on to the final step before mixing everything together and creating our filling. We're going to slice our eggs down the middle and we're going to slice them lengthwise, not widthwise, the long way. So slice all of your eggs lengthwise like that there, and make sure you slice it down the center as much as possible. Those are the way your eggs should look when we split them open. And what you're going to do is you're going to get a knife or a spoon and you're going to scoop out all of the egg yolks into a small mixing bowl. So scoop out the egg yolks with your spoon or your knife. Try to get out as much as possible. And your eggs at the moment should look like this right there. So what we're going to do now is you're going to get a fork because a fork makes it easy to smash out all of the lumps. You want to get out as much lumps as possible. You don't want the filling to be really chunky. Now you're not going to be able to get egg yolks to be really smooth. That's just not going to happen. So just use your fork and smash the egg yolks as much as possible. Now we're going to add our seasonings. We're going to add our sugar. We're going to add our salt. We're going to add our Old Bay seasoning, and we're going to add our black pepper. And just like with my salads, as you guys know, when making salad, what I like to do is add my seasonings first, and I like to stir the seasonings in first. I think that when you stir everything in together, it just prevents the seasoning from getting all over your salad or whatever you're mixing. So I like to stir in the seasoning first, then I add the condiments. Here we have our sweet relish. We're adding our Hellman's mayo now. And we're adding our ranch dressing. By the way, for the full recipe and all of the detailed instructions and measurements, make sure you visit my website at PhillyJCooking.com. This recipe will be on my website in the appetizer section. Okay? So we added our ranch, and last but not least, we're going to add our mustard. And I love the flavor that the mustard gives deviled eggs. We're going to stir that in really well. And that is going to be the filling for our deviled eggs. Okay? You want it to look like that right there. Deviled eggs are going to be absolutely delicious. You're going to love these, guys. I'm really excited for you guys to try this deviled eggs recipe. You are going to love it. It is just that good. Okay, so you're going to scoop the filling into the eggs. Scoop the filling into all 12 of the eggs. Like that there with a spoon. Okay, and as you can see, the filling is kind of on the looser side, but don't worry about that because we're going to be placing these in the refrigerator and the filling is going to stiffen up. So don't worry about it being a little loose. It's really not that loose, but don't worry about it. It's going to thicken up when we place it in the refrigerator for the deviled eggs to chill. You're going to sprinkle it with the paprika, and this is just going to make it nice and pretty. This is for decoration purposes. Okay, so sprinkle it with the paprika. And you see the way the filling look now. I'm going to show you in a few seconds how the filling is going to look after sitting in the refrigerator for a little while. Got to sprinkle a little more paprika on that one right there. So there go your deviled eggs. They're all complete. That's how you make it. Again, the full recipe can be found on my website. So make sure you visit PhillyJCooking.com. We're going to place these bad boys in the refrigerator and look at the filling now. See how it's stiffened up? It actually rolls a little bit. The filling kind of rises a bit as well. And it changes in color. It's a little darker than it was. Try this recipe out. I hope you guys like it. Philly Boy J. Peace.